Patreon member shout out. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veterans React video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. So I have been asked a couple of times to make this video, really just giving my reaction on what has been transpiring in Afghanistan the last couple of weeks and what my take on it, even though I have never been to Afghanistan. I was in the military from December 19th, 2012 to December 18th, 2016. Only deployment I had was to Ali Al-Salem in Kuwait. That being said, that I did have many friends serve in every single FOB and every single base in Afghanistan. Many of them are still there. I don't want to say today. They were still there up until recently. And this actually happened before, where I will read you a quick little blurb. And this is why I think we're going to go back as well, is because back in 27 May 2014, Obama announced a U.S. troop withdrawal. I remember being tasked for that deployment, and unfortunately I had hurt my back and I was unable to go, where President Barack Obama announced a timetable for withdrawing the most U.S. forces from Afghanistan by the end of 2016. And again, this was 27 May 2014. The first phase of the plan called for 9,800 troops to remain after the combat mission concluded at the end of 2014. Fighting season is usually from about April through September. For whatever reason, the Taliban or Al-Qaeda or ISIS decides to like to have the weather be perfect. If it is not perfect, they don't fight. So fighting season is usually from like springtime to late fall. Limited to training Afghan forces and conducting operations against the remnants of Al-Qaeda. Obama says the drawdown will free resources for counterterrorism priorities elsewhere. Some analysts point to the insurgency's resilience and question the plan's rigidity. Both candidates vying to succeed President Hamid Karzai have promised to sign the security agreement that is a prerequisite of any post-2014 U.S. troop presence. Obama, in his administration, welcomed Karzai as a welcome change. It did not really matter. Kind of just, again, we closed up one base and literally like the next year reopened that same base again because the fighting was too intense. That being said, the U.S. is not the only country there. The Taliban takes control of Kabul's presidential palace, and Russia is not evacuating its embassy in Afghanistan. From CNN, Zarha Ullah in Moscow and Nathan Hodge, the Russian government is not preparing to evacuate its embassy in Kabul. Senior Russian diplomat told Russian state news agency RIA Novosti. Quote, "The evacuation of the embassy is not being readied," said Zamir Kubalov, Russian President Vladimir Putin's special representative for Afghanistan. RIA Novosti reported Sunday, quote, "I am in contact with our ambassador. They are working calmly and closely, watching events as they unfold," end quote. Kubalov had said that the Taliban had guaranteed security for the Russian embassy. I don't know how they can trust them at that point, but whatever. Russian ambassador to Afghanistan, Dmitry Zernov, is planning to meet with representatives of the Taliban to discuss the security of the Russian diplomatic mission. The embassy's press attaché Nikita Ishenko told RIA Novosti. Russia has previously designated the Taliban as a terrorist organization, but the Kremlin government has also hosted the group's top negotiators at a diplomatic conferences in Moscow. Before I get onto this article where the Taliban sweep into Afghan capital after government collapses, I just want to say that there are evil people in this world. I believe many people that are in Taliban and in ISIS and in Al-Qaeda, they are very bad people and should probably be removed from this earth. That being said, take a look at why these people were created, how these groups came to power. Well, whose fault is it really? I don't know. Not my place to say. It is just, in my opinion, I don't want war. Every time there is a call for people to go to war, I cringe a little bit, because that, in the military, that was me. Again, when I was in the military, I did not have a combat position. I was not in a combat position. I got kind of lucky that way. But when there is a call to arms and people are saying, hey, you know what, we should go here and we should do this and that, okay, well, that's my friends going out there, and that's my friends doing stuff. My friends are in danger. So military, for the most part, especially in combat positions, are the last ones to say, like, oh, hey, let's go. They're the first ones to say, like, hey, let's talk about this. Can we provide a diplomatic solution? Is this going to devolve into aggressive negotiation? Yes, that's a Star Wars reference. I'm sorry about that. That being said, a couple of people that like to deploy, I like to deploy just because it is tax-free. You get more money, and you just get more money. That's pretty much it. So a lot of people do like deploying. They don't really care where. They don't care the foreign policy. They're just like, oh, deployment? Yeah, sure, sign me up. Again, just being real with how it is. Moving on, Taliban assumed the Afghan capital after the government collapses. I'm not going to read the whole article. It's pretty long, but I'll just go over some of the finer points that say Taliban swept into Afghanistan's capital Sunday after the government collapsed, and the embattled president joined an exodus of his fellow citizens and foreigners, signaling the end of a costly 2-decade U.S. campaign to remake the country. So much. Heavily armed Taliban fighters fanned out across the capital, and several entered Kabul's abandoned presidential palace. Suhail Shaheen, a Taliban spokesman and negotiator, told the Associated Press that the militants would hold talks in the coming days aimed at forming an open, inclusive Islamic government, end quote. Also, be advised, guys, that people that were helping the U.S. military, whether it was interpreters or it was people that were working in conjunction with the U.S. military, actually like Afghan police, Taliban finds them, they're dead. Like there is no if, as there's no negotiating, there's no paying off, they're just dead. It does not matter. So, how many people were we, condemning to death because we're leaving? How many people would have died that we stayed there? I don't know. Again, I don't know what the right answer is. It's just a really sucky situation always around. Because again, should we have even gone in? If we're there, we kind of knew we'd have to stay. And this is why I think we're going to go in again. You could maybe have some contractors go in. You have Blackwater, you have DynCorp, again, Blackwater Federal Contracts, Corvallis. You have so many different contractors that could go in, but that doesn't take the place, which, again, they cost an arm and a leg. But if you send military in there, super cheap because we get paid like poop. So, yeah, moving on. Kabul was gripped by panic. Helicopters raced overhead throughout the day to evacuate personnel from the U.S. Embassy. Smoke rose near the compound as staff destroyed important documents, and the American flag was lowered. Several other Western missions also prepared to pull their people out. Fearful that the Taliban could reimpose the kind of brutal rule that all but eliminated women's rights, Afghans rushed to leave the country, lining up at cash machines to withdraw their life savings. The desperately poor, who had left homes in the countryside for the presumed safety of the capital, remain in parks and open spaces throughout the city. Hang on one second, guys. I just Googled it. The Afghan Afghani is the... I'm sorry, that is a little bright. Is the currency that they currently use in Afghanistan. If I were a betting man and I had a little bit of money, what I would do is I would short the fudge out of that currency because that is ripe for collapse, and in my opinion, a strong gust could just knock it over. So I think that would be devalued, but again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, really. That's just something that Anyway, moving on past that, just one more thing. Though the Taliban had promised a peaceful transition, the U.S. Embassy suspended operations and warned Americans late in the day to shelter in place and not try to get to the airport. Commercial flights were suspended after sporadic gunfire erupted at the Kabul airport, according to two senior U.S. military officials. Evacuations continued on military flights, but the halt to commercial traffic closed off one of the last routes available for fleeing Afghans. There is a way to leave a country. This was not the way to do it. Like, the military, which again, when you close down bases, there should be, stuff is going to be left behind, fine. Military should be the last ones out of there. Because we're the only ones that are able to, like are you going to have, like, senators and congressmen really try to be, try to get out there on commercial flights? No, that has to be like military flights. It's the only way they can get protected. This is not the right way to withdraw. And again, I am fine with the U.S. withdrawing as long as done in a right way, and they can have... But again, these Afghan police, they just got trampled. I don't know if they gave up, they didn't want to fight, whatever. I'm not here to say which people of which countries are lazy and which people of which countries are good fighters and good people. That's not my place right now, but clearly what they did for the last 2 decades did not work. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I just know that it is a Charlie Foxtrot, and we're probably going to go back. Like, literally, before the year's end, we're probably going to send all the troops back. All the bases that were closed, guess what? They're going to be open right back up. The people that were there closing it, because again, this happened before in 2014, people that have closed these bases, they're going to be the ones to open that right back up the end of this year. Guaranteed. I'd bet money on that. So either way, guys, this is just my reaction to this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi, bye-bye Dashi, and let me know what you guys think. Just curious to hear everyone's opinions. All right, goodbye, guys. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.